this just got even more interesting. Sid and Gino making more history. Anthony Beauvillier moving up on the first line last night in the absence of Rickard Rakell. We have a Rakell injury update for you guys, and then we are just going to talk about what happened last night. The Penguins putting together a clinic against the LA Kings, starting off this road trip with 2 wins out of 3 games, only lost to the #1 team in the National Hockey League. We're starting off strong, guys, in this treacherous schedule that the Penguins have to face. 4 more road games to come on this road trip for the rest of the month, and then they finally get to go back home in February. It's January 21st. Welcome to Penguins Digest. Penguins got a big win last night. We got to break it all down, but first, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. 87% of you that are watching the videos are not subscribed to the channel, so subscribe to the channel, and we will keep you up to date on the latest Pittsburgh Penguins news, content, rumors, and analysis. This video is a fun one because you watched last night's game and you think this is a completely different team than the team we were talking about just yesterday before the game. So the Penguins are clearly still around. They're still relevant, and it's not just relevant because of these trade rumors. It's relevant because of the play, because of the product that they put on the ice. If they played like that every game, woohoo! We're in for some good stuff coming up, guys. Rickard Rakell injury update first. We're going to start with the bad news, and then I can bring in the good news so you know, have a better taste left in your mouth after watching this video here, Penguins Digest. There's always going to be some negativity, and the negativity last night was Rickard Rakell not being able to make the trip to the LA game against the Kings, playing at Crypto.com Arena without a first-line winger, without our leading goal scorer, Rickard Rakell. Here's the injury update for you guys. Rickard Rakell did not travel to the West Coast because he had a family issue. So Rakell himself is not injured. I need you guys to know that. He is in danger of missing even more games due to this family issue that is happening. I heard a bunch of rumors and saw a bunch of stuff about a whole bunch of different theories as far as what is going on with Rickard Rakell's family. I am not going to speculate. I will not tell you guys exactly what is going on because I do not want to be wrong. All I will say is that he is not hurt. Rakell is not hurt. That's the important part. It is a family issue. So he didn't travel with the team, which means likely will not be playing against Anaheim on Thursday either. That's not a guarantee, but he probably will not have his revenge game against the Ducks, probably. But if we have more updates to come, usually with this kind of personal stuff, we don't get that big of an update, right? We don't want really to dig in that deep to know what's going on. Just know that it's a family issue that he's probably going to miss some time. That's all. That's all you got to know. We don't have to dig any deeper than that. If you guys aren't satisfied with that content, I'm sorry, but that's all we're going to say about Rickard Rakell. I will not speculate. So we're going to move on to the next topic today, and that is big play Beauvillier. In Rakell's absence, we had a man step up, a man that had to step up earlier in the season when Brian Rust was injured, and that is Anthony Beauvillier. He has legitimate chemistry with Sidney Crosby. When he plays on that first line with Sid, we are still a very solid hockey team. Anthony Beauvillier, he brings the speed. I shouldn't even tell you. I should show you what Mike Sullivan had to say about Anthony Beauvillier after last night's game. I thought he played really well, Coach Sullivan said. He's noticeable and making an impact with his speed, his tenacity. He can shoot the puck. He's been hard on the boards, hard on the walls. He's competing in the puck battles. When he does that, he's an effective player. And we can't deny that. Mike Sullivan saw it firsthand. We watched the game. We saw it firsthand. Beauvillier looked like a different player playing alongside Sidney Crosby. And that's the Anthony Beauvillier that we need. That's the guy that we signed to an extension after this year, hopefully. And then you look at the score, you know, the breakdown. Beauvillier getting on the score sheet, of course. He had a really nice goal assisted by Cody Glass not that long ago either. Not last night, but overall, you know, Cody Glass has been really good lately too. We'll show you what Sidney Crosby had to say about Cody Glass last night as well. He mentioned him in his quote that he said about last night's game and how this team just kind of came together and played a really solid game against a Los Angeles Kings team. They are a hard team to score goals on. You know, they're stingy. They don't really give a whole lot up. So the Penguins being able to beat them twice now this season is kind of a big deal, especially on the road like this, playing in a different time zone. They put together a really complete performance. I mean, you're seeing goals from the bottom six, role players getting in on the action, Crosby and Malkin, per usual, who we're going to talk about a little bit later in the video. But overall, just a really good performance by the Penguins. They were controlling everything, every aspect of that game. You know, they were 100% on the power play, 1-for-1. They only had one opportunity. Kevin Hayes, he's been really good lately as well. He's found a role. He's found a spot in this lineup that he fits in. After that healthy scratch run that he was on, ever since he came back, he's been a different player. I mean, he keeps his feet moving. He's getting shots on goal. He's, creating opportunities. And that was his first assist in a long time. I forget what the actual date was, but it's been a minute since Kevin Hayes got an assist. So a 2-point game for Kevin Hayes last night. That is his first 2-point game as the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that's a big deal. Multi-point game for Kevin Hayes. You got Crosby and Malkin going. Beauvillier having a great game. Mike Sullivan had nothing but good things to say about Anthony Beauvillier. So it's just good. There's nothing negative to take from the game last night. It was one of the best performances that I've seen the Penguins play all season long. And we'll see what Mike Sullivan had to say. But first, let's talk about what Sid said, because really what I want to know is what the players and what the coach had to say. What I say doesn't matter nearly as much as what these guys say. They were the ones that were there. You know what I mean? I'm not on the West Coast. I'm not in California and LA while they're playing this game. I mean, you know what's going on in LA right now. There's so much chaos going on out there in Southern California. Playing a hockey game seems like the least important thing for people in that area, but they still played at Crypto.com Arena. So we'll see what Sid had to say here about the game last night. Obviously, he had nothing but good things to say either. I mean, nobody had anything bad to say about that performance whatsoever. It's just a positive to build on as the Penguins move forward. One of the best efforts of the season. Crosby said, I thought everyone played well. It was a great effort on both sides of the puck. We gave up a 5-on-3 goal. That was really the only goal. Kempe with a rocket. That guy can shoot the puck. Killed the next one and then got a big one from Glasser. Shouting out Cody Glass, who's been great lately. Thought we managed the game really well. And Sid, I can't disagree. I think it was a clinic. I really think it was a clinic last night. That was something that you can take with you and build on as this road trip continues. And that's kind of what I said before the road trip even started, that the Penguins are needing to look at this as more of an opportunity than anything else. It's not, it's daunting, don't get me wrong, but it's also an opportunity to win some games, to stack some good, performances up, even if you don't win the game, just something to build on, some kind of momentum, because if you have a winning record on this road trip, that changes everything. This is going to be your hardest road trip in your hardest part of the schedule of the entire season. If you have a winning record on that road trip and then you get to go back home and you get to, it's huge. You can't really say enough about how huge it is. And the performance they put together last night, they looked like a completely different team. The same day that Kyle Dubas is out here saying everybody's on the trade block, guess what, buddy? Mike Sullivan and the boys had other ideas. They're going out there playing like they are here, and they are still very, very good and could potentially make a run at the playoffs. And I know some of you in the comment section believe that, and some of you have been the exact opposite, saying this team has no chance. Well, watch the replay of the game from last night, because if they play like that, I know the Kings were on a kind of a lull there for a little bit. They haven't been winning games lately, but neither are the Penguins. So I think it goes without saying, the Penguins played really well, and Mike Sullivan's going to tell you exactly what happened, because again, he's going to be able to explain it a little bit better than I can. So I'd rather just use a quote from the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins than tell you what I think, because what I think doesn't matter compared to Mike Sullivan, and he's not going anywhere, guys. You guys can say whatever you want about Sullivan in the comment section too. He is not going anywhere. Mike Sullivan, back-to-back Stanley Cup champion head coach with the Penguins. And what did he have to say about the effort last night against the LA Kings? I thought it was one of the better games we played all year. I agree, Mike Sullivan. And you think in terms of our third game in 4 nights, traveling coast to coast, I mean, that's tough. And I thought we played with a ton of energy. We did a real good job just playing on top of them in the offensive zone. I thought we did a great job getting up at 5s, just 5-man units, all 3 zones against a team that is as stingy defensively as they are. And that was what I was trying to tell you earlier. They are a stingy team. They're a very good defensive team, one of the best defensive teams in the National Hockey League. They're going through a rough stretch right now, but this is still a really good club, and we beat them twice now this year. And the first one was actually a close game. This one was a just drubbing of this, LA Kings team. So you gotta think positive about this kind of game, guys. Like this is one of those games where you're like, hey, that's when our season turned around. That's one of the ones that you highlight on the calendar. You circle that thing, you say, that is the day. That is the game. We turned it all around, and I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past the Penguins. I really would not. And we talk about the 2-headed monster, Sidney Crosby, Evgeni Malkin. Can you say enough about the future Hall of Famers? No, you cannot. These guys are unbelievable. Continue to make history almost on a nightly basis at this point, guys. They are doing something different every night. You hear all these stats. And Crosby and Malkin just moving their way up the record book, just moving their way up the list, etching their name in history. Mount Rushmore for the Pittsburgh Penguins, no questions asked, but also among some of the greatest to ever play the game. Last night, Sidney Crosby, became just the 11th player in NHL history to record at least 50 points in 18 seasons. That was with his first period goal in that game last night. He was making history again. I mean, Sid, man, come on. There's nothing this guy can't do. I'll let you guys see the graphic while I'm talking about this. There is nothing this guy can't do. The consistency that he puts on display. He's trying to break Wayne Gretzky's record this year for point per game season. So we'll see if he can do that. He's on pace still to do that. But the fact that he's got 50 plus points in 18 plus seasons is absolutely ridiculous. Penguins center Evgeni Malkin also found twine last night, as you see on that board. Now, this was the 125th time that both of them scored in the same game as teammates, Crosby and Malkin, the two-headed monster. They tied Edmonton Oilers duo Jari Kurri and Mark Messier for 9th all-time in NHL history for games in which both of them score a goal as teammates. That is absolutely insane to think about. Crosby and Malkin getting on the scoreboard in the regular season 125 times, both in the same game. 125 times. That's awesome. So the Penguins get a win. Crosby did well. Malkin broke out of his slump. He scored. That was a nice goal by Malkin. We need more from Malkin. You know what I'm saying? So, and I see in the comment section as well, people are critical of Evgeni Malkin's game, but also I saw somebody in the comments yesterday talk about Malkin being a guy that can elevate his game when he needs to. So we haven't seen the best of Evgeni Malkin. If the Penguins are in the playoffs, you best believe you're going to see the best version of Evgeni Malkin. You're going to see the best version of Sidney Crosby. This team is built for that. And Mike Sullivan talked about that as well. He talked about how this older team, a team that's the oldest team in the National Hockey League, people say that's a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. And when he's asked by reporters about these younger players compared to these older players, he said that the older players actually do a better job of fighting against adversity. And you would think it'd be the other way around, is basically what he said, but you're playing these back-to-backs. The Penguins have been better in the second game of back-to-backs than the first game. That shouldn't make any sense if they're the oldest team in the league. So we're opposite than you think. I mean, this team they're capable. You guys want to think that they're not. A lot of you guys out there that are not Penguins fans or just want to hate, because there's a lot of hate going around. The Penguins are not a team you need to hate right now, okay? I'm not saying we're a threat to win the Stanley Cup, but this is not a team that we're quitting on right now. This is a team that can make the playoffs, and they could at least win a playoff series, or at least put up a fight. I mean, we're writing the end of the script for the movie before we even watch. You know what I mean? We're getting too ahead of ourselves here, right? So let's just see how this season plays out. Let's continue to have faith. And if games like that are any tell, this team is not out of the race. They're not out of the race. So Kyle Dubas, you can hold the phone, buddy. You can hold the phone. You got the two phones going. We had that meme up yesterday. You can put one of them down, at least one of them. I still want you to make some trades, but you can put one of those phones down right now, all right? The Penguins put up a great performance. I think they're just mad. I'll be honest. I think they're mad that Dubas is trying to trade everybody, and they're like, you know what? Let's show you, Kyle Dubas. And Mike Sullivan's happy about it. Penguins players are happy about it. Crosby and Malkin making history. Hey, guys, we're not going anywhere anytime soon here on Penguins Digest. We got more to talk about. We'll have another video for you guys tomorrow. It will be a trade video because it is an off day for the Penguins. But today we just had to talk about last night's game because there's so much good stuff going for the Pens right now. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll see you on the next episode of Penguins Digest.